I'm gonna try to be as transparent as possible. So, yep, I'm back in the hospital. The first time I was in the hospital back on December 14th because I had a stroke while I was at work. Um, excuse me, it hurt for me to cough. Um, Originally, I had a stroke back in December. Um, and me having this, me talking is going to tell you what led up to me being here now. Was at work. My day started off typical. It was normal. I went to lunch. Me and a coworker came back. When I got out of my car, boom, like my legs gave out. I went down. Okay, I'm saying to myself, my coworker like, girl, see, girl, get up, come on, you play too much. I was like, no, for real, like my legs don't have no feeling in it, like for real, for real. So at the time, I didn't know what was going on. So, like I said, I had just came back from lunch with a coworker. I got up, drug myself in there, drug my leg in there, got all the way to my workstation. I said, if I can't hold out till 3 o'clock, I was gonna clock out and leave, and I was gonna go to the emergency room, right? Before I could get through eating my chicken good, boom, I fell again in between some toast. And I said, yep, it's time for me to go. I said, because I have no feeling on my right leg. So I got up with some toast. I drug them over there to where a PA was. And I said, hey, can you call a manager back here? Because I had no feeling in my leg, right? So she got somebody over there. She came around and she said, I think you might have a stroke. And I was like, nah, don't wish that on me. Please don't, right? So they got back, they got a wheelchair, got me out of there. I had a ride to pick me up. My ride took me to the hospital, brought me down here to St. Dominic's. Got down here, checked, got to triage. Everything I just told y'all, I told them. But while I was sitting there, these fingers started going numb. I was starting to lose feeling on the right side completely. So by that time, they rushed me back to do a CT scan on my brain, and it showed where I had a mini stroke. 39 years old, suffered a stroke. But it originally started back in October with a blood clot that led up to all of this, okay? And so if you ever experience some bad pain in your leg, your chest, wherever, get to the nearest emergency room because 9 times, and if it's hot, if that spot is hot, it's a blood clot, okay? Um, get back there, they run the test, they say, hey, you had a stroke. Were you aware that you had a stroke? Have you ever had a stroke before? I said, no, this is my first time like that, right? So, they told me they were going to keep me overnight. Well, no, they told me they was going to admit me. I'm thinking, I'm going to be there 2 days, boom, I'm back out, I'm going to go back to work. And even remind you, this was December 14th, 2 weeks before Christmas. Okay. Get on the phone. I tell my sister, I said, hey, we're going to do one three-way call because I'm not calling everybody no separate like this. So I said, hey, yeah, they admit me to the hospital because I just recently had a stroke. They said it looked like it was an old stroke that I had. So they're going to admit me and make sure I hadn't had I didn't have another stroke, which I didn't by the grace of God. Fast forward, okay, I stayed in the hospital 6 days, maybe 7. It was a week because I went in at the 14th. I didn't get out to the Saturday, the next following Saturday, okay. Got out. I had mobility issues on the right side. I couldn't hardly walk. I was dragging my leg. I drug my leg for roughly 2 months until I went to physical therapy. And I'm currently still going to physical therapy. With me going to physical therapy, they kind of helped me get the strength back in that leg, show me how to walk properly, how to stand and everything else. Okay. Fast forward today, April the 8th today. I had to come in today, which I'm here now, for a PFO procedure. I had to be here this morning at 6:30. A PFO is when you're born as a baby. Something with the umbilical cord, I might be saying it wrong. They'd be attached from the mama or something attached from the mama that's attached to you. So when I was born, mine didn't fully close on its own. That's what they say. But I'm waiting on my medical records from Cook County Hospital, so I'm confident to get to the bottom of these. So I found out that I had a hole in my heart from the stay that I stayed in the hospital a whole week. That's how I found out I had a hole in my heart. Okay. With me finding this information out, they had scheduled me an appointment back in I want to say February, March. I can't remember vaguely right now. To have the procedure done. But the day of my surgery, I had forgot that I was supposed to stop taking my blood thinners 48 hours in advance. So when I got this, I said, hey, Miss Brown, we can't even do the surgery. We got to send you home. Okay. I was disappointed because I didn't want to leave there and the possibility I have another stroke later on down the road. So I came home. I went home. I waited on the doctor, the nurse, to call me back to schedule my appointment with the new scheduling date, which was today. Get down here, get checked in. 6:30 this morning. My day was fine. It was perfect. I had did a whole video to blog on my surgery journey, but I don't know what happened to it. But I get down here. We wait. They call me. I was upstairs. They came and got me about it was a little after 10. They came and got me. Get me prepped for surgery. The surgery went fine. It's just that when they gave me this antibiotic called it's gonna come to me, but the antibiotic they gave me, I was highly allergic to it. Didn't know. And I think there's something I was allergic to. So in the process, they was like, "Hey, Miss Brown, you doing okay?" Yeah, I was feeling fine until they put the antibiotic in my IV. When they put the antibiotic in my IV, my ears started itching uncontrollably. Had never felt nothing like that before in a day in my life. So it went from my ears itching really bad to my top of my head itching. So the lady behind me scratching my ears. I said, "Okay, you can stop scratching my ears. Move up and scratch my head." So she started scratching my head. I said, "Hey, excuse me," but I said, "My little sister itching. She itching really bad." And I said, "Wait a minute. My whole body itching." I said, "I'm itching. I need to scratch." She was like, "No, don't move because we have these things in you." And, PFO, it was an instrument they inserted in me through my groin areas to close a hole in my heart. That was a success. But it was the antibiotics that they had given me that sent me spiraling. So they had to give me, what was it? Something to reverse it. By that time, before it started working, I was having like seizures back to back, back to back, back to back, back to back. Seizures out of nowhere. I had never, in 39 years of my life, had never had a seizure up until the day. Like, I couldn't control it. My top lip went completely numb. My whole left side went completely numb. They rushed me downstairs after I stopped seizing to run tests to make sure I hadn't had another stroke. But I had several mini seizures back to back. So that's why I'm here now. They're keeping me. I was supposed to went home, but with me having them seizures, had complications from the antibiotic that they had provided me with. They're making me stay for observation. I'm in a little pain. I'm begging for some pain medicine. I ain't got it checked. I'm trying to catch my little young nurse before she leave at 7 o'clock. Come on, give me these drugs. I go to sleep the rest of the night. But I just want to be as transparent as possible. I didn't want to post it on my other social media. And then, I got to explain the same thing over and over one by one. I didn't want to do all that like I did the last time. I'm 39 years old. From 2023 up until now, I'm going to talk about what happened to me in 23. I have to stop being emotional about it. I'm almost there, but I'm not quite there. But from then up until now, it's like, it's nothing but bad stuff that has been happening. I can't put my finger on what it is. I kind of got an idea what it is, but I'm not going to speak on it. I'm not going to speak on that too fast. But yeah, if you have, if your health is good, take care of yourself. Because you could be up today and you could be down tomorrow. And another thing, a detail I forgot, they told me that I had seen my grandmother when I was in there. My grandmother been dead since August of 11, 12 years. I seen her. Like, she was to the right of me because I was laying this way. And I saw my grandmother. She stood there. I seen her. Like, it wasn't no figure. It was her. I hadn't seen my grandma since the day that she passed them years ago. And I seen my grandma today. I hadn't seen her forever. They say that I passed. They say I had died and came back. I don't know. I can't remember none of that. But I'm saying that to say this. Take care of yourself. Because you never know the time, day, or the hour. Your health is more important, Take care of yourself. I thought I was doing a good job to take care of myself. But obviously not. But you got one life to live. You got one self. So take care of yourself. This is not for pity. I'm not begging it. It's just to be transparent. Because I have had a lot of going on in my life since 23 up until now. And I thank God I'm still here. I praise him because I could have died today. And I wouldn't be able to tell my story.